Om Asmadgurubhyo Namaha. Krishna Rakshatano Jagatraya Guruhu Krishnam Namasyamyaham Krishnena Marasetravo Vinihataha Krishnaya Tasmai Namaha. Krishna Deva Samuthitam Jagadidam Krishnasya Dasosmyaham Krishne Tishtati Sarvametadakilam He Krishna Samrakshamam. Jai Sri Narayana. With Acharya's blessings, we are continuing chapter 3. We completed Sloka 16. We will start with Sloka 17 today. Okay, sharing the screen. You can see the screen.
Yes.
Sloka 17. Okay. Please send. Yastvat Maratireva Syat Atma Truptascha Manavaha Atmanyeva cha Santushtaha Tasya Karyam na Vidyate. Let's turn together. Yes. Lord Krishna explained in the previous slokas the circle of Yajna, how we need to lead our life as Yajna so that we can reduce our karmic bondage. We will not gain more karmic bondage by performing all our activities as Yajna, and finally we can get the liberation. So he explained all that, and then he's starting here. So it's continuing. Yaha tu manavaha atma ratihi evaha syat. Okay. So Lord Krishna is saying but yaha manavaha syat atma ratihi eva, who remains engaged in Atma alone. Atma ratihi eva syat, who remains engaged in Atma alone, who is engaged in the sense who is having favorable disposition, who is having asakti, if you understand the word, who is focused towards, in a way, right? So who is always engaged in Atma alone, then, and Atma Truptaha. Atma Truptaha is who is satisfied with the self alone. And then Atmani Evacha Santushtaha, who is delighted in Atma alone. Okay. So the three things he said. One who is engaged in Atma, or one who has favorable disposition towards Atma. One who is satisfied with Atma. Again, alone here. Not like, I like this and I also like that. No, alone. So I am always engaged in Atma alone. I am satisfied with Atma alone. And Atmani evacha santushtaha. I am happy with Atma alone, or I am delighted in Atma alone. Tasya karyam na vidyate. Tasya, for that one, karyam na vidyate. No obligated duty will be there. Okay. So one who is totally focused on Atma, one who is satisfied or contented with Atma, or one who is very happy, one who is delighted with Atma alone, for that person, there is no obligated duty. What does that mean? Tasya karyam na vidyate. So that means they don't have to do anything?
Basically, they wouldn't get, they're not attached to the results of the actions that they're doing, basically. There is no bondage, karmic bondage.
Right. So for them, there is no work or there's no obligated duty, is Lord Krishna saying. So so let's say I have not, I have no work. Then what do we think? Right? What do we think typically? I can just relax and be idle, or Balaji garu, you're mute.
It's as good as they haven't done anything. They may be acting, but because they're surrendering to Bhagavan in anything they do.
Okay.
They are not attached to the work, as if they are not attached to
the result of the work.
They're not attached to the result of the work. I mean, they will not be, of course, because they're always focused on the Atma, and then they're always satisfied with Atma, and they're happy with Atma. For that person, there is no there's no obligated duty, or there's no work, no karma to be performed. Not that they don't have to perform the karma. There is no karma that need to be performed for them to get the self-realization. So, I'm already there. So there is nothing else for me to do in order to achieve it. Right? It doesn't mean that I don't have to do anything. If for one who is already in a perfect state, one who is already, this is the perfect state, right? One who is self-realized. For that person, there is no obligated duty to do in order to achieve that state, because you're already there. Okay, so for the sake of self-realization, you don't have to do anything, because you're already in that state. You have to do something. You will be doing something. That's what Lord Krishna will say later. However, once someone achieves this state where you are always focused on Atma, that means you do not have, so see, you are focused on Atma alone, or one who is, one who gains enjoyment from Atma alone, right? By focusing on Atma alone. So for such a person, there is, that is one of the conditions, right? One who is always engaged on Atma. And then one who is satisfied with that. Say, for example, I'm not satisfied with Atma alone. What would I be satisfied with?
results of the action.
Right, experiences. So I'll be, I'll be satisfied with whatever, and I'm eating, I'm drinking, whatever. So I'm satisfied by my nurturing, body nurturing, basically. So I am focused on Atma, then I do not have, I will be focused on this materialistic, eating food, enjoying, or being satisfied with whatever sensory pleasures that I'm getting. Okay, so there is something for me to do there. I am always engaged in doing some activity. Okay, because I'm satisfied with that kind of activity, I'm forced to do that. Okay. Isn't it? If you're satisfied with watching a movie, then what do? You watch a movie. You'll be forced to watch a movie. I mean, you will do anything to watch a movie because you're satisfied with that, right? But if let us say you are not, you're satisfied with yourself, Atma, then if you watch a movie, fine. If you don't watch a movie, it's fine. You don't have to do that activity to satisfy yourself. You don't have to do that activity. That's one way of looking at it. There are two ways of looking at it. One is you do not have to do any activity to get self-realization is one thing, because you're already in that state. Second is you do not have to do anything to satisfy yourself, because if you're satisfied with Atma alone, and you are Atma, it's not like somebody, Atma is somewhere else, right? You are Atma and you are satisfied with Atma alone, then there's no question of doing something to be satisfied again, right? Because it's you. Same thing with the happiness or delight, So if I'm happy only when a particular activity is done, then I have to do that activity to become happy. Now, if I'm happy with myself, then I do not have to do that activity to become happy, right? So for a person who is always focused on Atma, who is or always engaged in Atma, one who is content with Atma and one who is happy with Atma alone, for such a person, there is nothing that person has to do in order to gain self-realization. There is nothing that person has to do in order to, in order to become happy or be satisfied with themselves.
Yeah.
Right? So you don't have to run after something, or you are not forced to do something in order to get a result.
He's always contented with himself.
Right. I mean, if I am happy with myself, okay, then I don't have to depend on external factors to make me happy, right? So, and I don't have to do anything to become happy again, because I'm already there.
Yeah.
Okay. And there is nothing that is more, I mean, one who is happy with Atma, right? One who is happy, delighted in themselves. For them, there is nothing that is more happy than that. Of course, here Paramatma, I mean Atma. Once we know that, once we realize ourselves, immediate thing is that we are dependent on Paramatma will become very clear. So our focus shifts from self to Paramatma. Then we become Jnana. So then we will be satisfied with Paramatma alone, and we'll be happy in serving Paramatma alone. Okay, so we will not focus on Atma, because we will realize that Atma is also dependent on Paramatma, and the goal for Atma is to reach Paramatma. So then we will shift our focus to Paramatma. Here in this case, Lord Krishna is saying that one who is satisfied with themselves, who is happy with themselves, who is happy in Atma alone, then there is nothing for them to do, nothing else for them to do to become self-realized again, self-realized. Okay. Okay. Any questions on that?
The challenge is how to be satisfied with your Atma. That's also a challenge, right? So
challenge, yeah. So once we realize that we are Atma, that challenge, half the challenge is over. Once we realize that we are not body, and what is what is our goal, then most of the challenges will be already over. The problem is that we don't accept that we are always running after materialistic pleasures, materialistic goals, because we are not following that circle of yajna, right? I am body. I am doing the work. My work produces result. I experience the result for my own sake. Then I do the work again. Then the work gives me result. All that. So that is our typical way of life. But if you follow that yajna life cycle, that's why Lord Krishna gave that yajna before. Just for revision's sake, we are saying that. So I am not body. So body is doing the work. We have to do that as yajna, which gives us the result. The result is offered as service to God. God is the one who is sustaining us, and then I am just an instrument in the hand of God, and the body is doing the work. We do the work as yajna. Yajna gives me the result. So doing the work as yajna is doing it as service to God, and God is the one who is giving us the result. Of course, through devatas and other bhutas. Then we offer. So typically, when we get the food, we eat the food as an offering to God, and then God is nurturing our body. So that circle is complete. So if we always think this way, that then again, as we go through the Karma Yoga, we will understand that once we think that it is not my work I'm doing, it is Paramatma's work I'm doing, I'm just an instrument. Okay, I'm doing it as an offering to God. These are some of the small principles we incorporate into our life. Then it automatically starts building up one by one, one by one. One of the things that prevents us from realizing this is our karmic bondage. The more karmic bondage that we have, more difficult for us to realize this. Or even if we get the knowledge, it becomes difficult for us to practice. So we need the blessings of Acharya to, come out of that. One who will hold our hand and take us along with that. I mean, just like someone, who knows how to travel in a particular path, then we will be safely going along with that person. If the person is not there, we'll be just wandering around, right? Same way, if if Acharya is there, who is taking all of us along with that person, along with Acharya, then we'll safely, smoothly go to our destination. And we are not diverted, digressed from our goal. We'll not be lost. So that's why it is important for us to have Acharya, so who can remove some of these obstacles from within us. If we truly surrender to Acharya, we will be getting cleared of our karmic bondage in a way, right? And then we will be able to go in that direction along with our Acharya.
One quick question, Jai Sri Manarayana.
Yes, yeah.
When a person is self-realized and if he doesn't have any action to perform to gain self-realization, why would he still in the same body? I mean, why is he not released from the body? Because when we say that he doesn't gain karmic bondage, if he self-realized, is he still in the body because of the prior vasanas, though he self-realized?
So why would somebody be in the body once they are self-realized, right?
Right.
So it's a difficult question. Okay, so our normal thinking is that when I become self-realized, right, I get liberated.
Right.
Okay, so I become self-realized through my own efforts.
Right.
I get liberated. That is what our thinking is. What we are going to learn as we progress in Bhagavad Gita is my own efforts to clear my karmic bondage will never liberate me. It is God's blessings only, Paramatma's blessings. He's the one who is going to give the liberation to us. So when we are in this state, we may still be taking birth. We may still be in the body. It is up to Paramatma when to liberate us. See, let us say, it is Paramatma's goal. I'm just giving an example, right? Paramatma's goal to give us a great Acharya like Bhagavad Ramananda, for example, let us say. Okay. If, let's say he is one in this particular stage. He is the one who is leading all of us out of this mess, right? So as soon as Bhagavad Ramanuja gets into a state of self-realization, if he is given moksha, then who will lead us, right? So it is Paramatma who, based on whatever whatever his kataksh, his goals, his vision, is he would he may want this person to stay in this particular body for some more time to lead other people. Okay, so that could be one of his goals. So it is not that this person, I become self-realized and now it is my what is that, my right to become liberated. No, there is no such right. Paramatma is the one who will decide when to give moksha to anyone, irrespective of what state they are in. So if, for example, Prahlada, continued to rule this world, even though, he could have been given the state of, moksha, right? But he stayed in that, in like Prahlada for several years, to lead this world. Like that, there are other great examples that we can take. So again, this is trying to link what is there in Bhagavad Gita to this particular sloka. Bhagavad Gita in Lord Krishna says that he is the one who is going to give the liberation, not our actions. So not our actions or not our state, whichever state we are in. So when we are in this state of self-realization, there is nothing else for us to do to get the self-realization. However, we may continue to be in this particular life to lead the world. Actually, the and later slokas, you will get it. That these great souls are going to do the activities that will set an example for us, will lead us in a better life.
Sure. Thanks for explaining. Jai Sri Narayana.
Yes.
Sir, this prarabdha karma, don't you think that plays a role, like how long a person lives?
So
Everything controlled by Paramatma, I understand, but it has to be nullified.
So yeah, I mean, again, what is that state which which is self-realized? Self-realized, and you don't have anything to do. I mean, I think the background meaning here is that you have nothing to lose or gain by doing any activity. That's the next sloka actually. So once we go through that, it will become clear. So if I have any karma left, right, to experience,
Mhm.
if I don't do it, then I lose. I'll be getting karmic bondage. But once I'm in this particular state of self-realization, there's nothing for me to do that will give me self-realization or not give me self-realization.
Mhm.
The purpose of giving this particular sloka at this stage is to tell Arjuna that you are not in this particular state. So that is the whole purpose. We will see why suddenly Lord Krishna has to say this one is Arjuna wanted to just leave all the activities. So one who is self-realized don't have anything to. They are the ones who can basically have nothing to lose or nothing to gain. They are already in that state. They need not do anything more to get into that state, or they need not do anything to get into that state. But Lord Krishna says, Arjuna, you're not in that state. That is the context we'll get through these slokas as we go through. So then he says that you have to do your duties. Okay, so we'll go to the next sloka. See the screen.
We can see it. Yeah.
We can see.
Okay. Naiva tasya krutenartho
Naiva tasya krutenartho
na krute neha kaschana
na
Na
krite
krite
Kashchana
na chasya sarva bhuteshu
na
na
chasya
chasya
sarvabhuteshu
sarvabhuteषु
kaschidardhavyapasrayah.
कश्चिदर्थव्यपाश्रयः
Let's chant together. Naiva
नैव
tasya
तस्य
krutenartho
न
na
कृते
krute
नेह
neha
कश्चन
kaschana
न
chasya
sarvabhuteshu
सर्वभूतेषु
सर्वभूतेषु
कश्चिदर्थव्यपाश्रयः
कश्चिदर्थव्यपाश्रयः
Okay. So Lord Krishna is saying, Tasya, he's saying Naiva Tasya Krutenartha. So Tasya, for that one, for that who is a jnani, self-realized. Iha, in this world, Krutena Ardhaha na eva. Na eva Krutena Ardhaha is first line, right? Tasya na eva Krutena Ardhaha. There is no benefit to be gained by the work performed. Right? There is nothing to be gained by the work. Asya, for him, Krutena, Akrutena, Kaschana na. Na Akrutena Kaschana. So Akrutena Kaschana na. There is no ill effect by the karmas not performed. Okay. Then Lord Krishna is saying, Sarva Bhuteshu Asya Kaschidardha Vyapasraya na. Na Asya Sarva Bhuteshu Kaschidardha Vyapasraya. So Lord Krishna is saying, and cha, and asya, for that one, kaschidardha vyapasraya na sarvabhuteshu. Nothing exists to seek as desired result from any being. Sarva bhuteshu, all beings, you can say. There is nothing that exists to seek from any of these beings in this world. So let us recap. So, kritena ardha na eva. There is no benefit to be gained by the work performed. Okay. And then akritena kaschana na is there is no ill effect. Okay. Anardha na is saying. So there is no benefit to be gained, and there is no bad effect or ill effect by the karmas not performed. Okay. And kasyardha vyapasraya na sarvabhuteshu is saying that there is nothing that you seek from any of these beings, any of the, so there is nothing desired result that you are seeking from any of these results. Sorry, any of the beings, sarvabhuteshu. Okay. So for a realized person, there's nothing to be gained from the work that is performed. There's no loss or no ill effect or bad effect if a work is not performed. So whether work is performed or not performed, there's no benefit or loss. And there's nothing that you need from any of these beings that will be of benefit to you. You understand? See, typically when we work, we are looking for a particular result to gain something, isn't it? So when we don't do the work, we lose something.
Yeah.
Right? Like both materialistic and spiritual, we'll take both of them. So when we when we perform a work, we're looking for a benefit that we want to gain. Like when we do our job, we are looking for salary or job satisfaction or something else, right? So we are looking for a particular benefit for the work that we are performing. Okay. For one who is a gnani, one who is self-realized, for that person, when they perform the work, there's nothing, there's no benefit to be gained from that work for them. That means their focus, satisfied, focus in the sense it's not that they're not focused on the work. They will do the work with focus only, but that is not their goal. That is not what they are engaged in. Okay, they are always engaged in Atma, and then they perform the action, right? So they are not gaining any satisfaction. They are not getting any happiness from the work that is performed. So there is no benefit that they are gaining from the work that is performed. Or they don't do any work just to gain something out of the work. Or they don't do anything that looking for a particular benefit. Okay, so for them, there is no benefit to be gained when they perform the karma. And if they don't perform the karma, they don't lose anything. Again, they don't lose satisfaction, happiness, because they don't lose their goal, right? Their goal is Atma. It has nothing to do with the karma or the results of the karma. So when they don't perform that action, they don't lose anything, because they're always satisfied with their Atma, and with themselves, right? So that is so this is the highest state. Like they don't get I mean, they don't run after the results of the work, or be dissatisfied when the activities are not done, right? Let us say I want to watch a movie to be happy, and I'm not able to do that. And let's say I could not go to watch a movie, then I'll become, I get the ill effect of it. That's a materialistic way of looking at it. Now, the spiritual way of looking at it is when I do the activity, then I'm clearing the karmic bondage. Okay? When I don't do the activity, I'm gaining the karmic bondage. So clearing the karmic bondage is the benefit. When I do the activity as yajna, when I don't do the karma, or do it when I do the karma in a way that is not supposed to, then I get the karmic bondage. That is the ill effect of it. For these people, because they're focused on Atma, they're performing the yajna, okay? There is nothing to be gained by the work they perform, or nothing to be lost if they don't perform a karma. Okay? Then they're not looking for anything from other beings. They're not looking for any benefit from anyone else other than themselves. Like, if they're focused completely on themselves, they're satisfied with themselves and getting the happiness from themselves only, then there is nothing that they need from someone else to make them happy, for example. So there is nothing that they need to seek from others in order to get what they want. That's typically, this is what we do. I mean, we are performing the work to get a benefit. If we don't perform work, we will lose something, right? So if we don't go to a job one day, then we don't get the salary, So, and then we are always seeking something from others in this world in order to be happy. Okay, we have a desired result. This person is going to give me, that is going to give me. So that is, we are always dependent on others for our own happiness. The one who is a jnani, they are not dependent on anyone else for their own happiness. And they're not dependent on karma for their happiness. They're happy by themselves. Okay. Okay, so we'll move on to the next sloka. Sloka 19. Tasmadasaktas satatam
Tasmadasatatam
karyam karma samachara
Karyam karma samachara
asakto hyacharan karma
asakto
yacharan karma
karma
paramapnoti purushah.
paramapnoti purushah
Let's chant together.
tasmat
Tasmadasatatam
satatam
karyam
karyam
karma
karma samachara
samachara
asakto
asakto
asakto hyacharan
yacharan
yacharan
karma
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 Parama.
Paramapnoti Purushaha.
Lord Krishna is starting this sloka with Tasmat. Therefore, Asakta Satatam Karyam Karma Samachara. Therefore, always perform well, Samachara, always perform, Satatam Karma Samachara, always perform well the obligated duty without attachment. Asaktaha is without attachment. We saw that earlier. Be asaktaha and do the work, he said. So, asakta satatam karyam karma samachara. Do your obligated duty very well, perform well, without attachment, always. Okay? So, he said, therefore do this. In the previous sloka, Lord Krishna said that for a particular, for one who is always satisfied by themselves, for them nothing to be gained, nothing to be lost by one, they have nothing to seek from others, nothing to be gained by others. Therefore, you do the work. What does that mean? That means you are not at that stage. So Arjuna was thinking that I can, simply, leave all this and then I can focus on Atma Jnanam alone. Okay? For such, he will not be, he's not in that state to leave all the work and, and not get ill effect of it. Got it? He is still not there. So therefore, Lord Krishna is saying, therefore, O Arjuna, you have to do your duty. That means you are not in the state where you will, if you don't do the work, you're not in the state where you will not get the ill effects of it. So that means if you leave the work, you will get the ill effects. So therefore, you cannot leave the work, or you cannot skip the work. You have to do your duty. So that's why he's saying, therefore, asaktaha, be detached, satatam, always, karyam karma samachara, perform well your obligated duty. He, asakta acharan, right? Asaktaha, he, acharan karma. That he is, because, is saying, Purushaha asaktaha karma acharan paramapnoti. Purushaha, one, a person. Okay. Asaktaha karma acharan, one who performs work without attachment. Paramapnoti, attains supreme goal. So, if therefore you cannot skip the duty, right? So you have to do your duty really well. Okay. Always being detached. Because one who performs work without attachment is the one who attains supreme goal, he said. Okay. So that supreme goal is the previous state of self-realization or liberation, right? So you cannot simply leave the work and then say that we declare ourselves as I'm in that state. We cannot do that. We have to do the work as Lord Krishna mentioned. Then we will reach a state where it doesn't become necessary for us to do any more thing to attain that particular state. Okay. Got it? So be detached, perform the work to attain supreme goal. Then we do not have to depend on anything else to be satisfied, to be happy. Okay, so I'll move on to next sloka, sloka 20. Sloka 20. Karmanaiva hi samsiddhim
Naiva hi samsiddhim
asthita janakadayah
Astita janakadayah
lokasangrahamevapi
Lokasangrahamevapi
sampasyan kartumarhasi.
Sampashyan kartumarhasi
Let's chant together. Karmanaiva hi samsiddhim
Astita
asthita
janakadayah Lokasangrahamevapi Sampashyan kartumarhasi.
So in the previous sloka, Lord Krishna said, you have to do your obligated duty, okay, without attachment. And in this sloka, Lord Krishna is giving the example of others who were able to attain their supreme state by following that principle. Okay, so it is not like theory anymore. It's people have practiced it and they attained supreme state. Okay, so Lord Krishna is giving the example. Janakadayah, King Janaka and such others, or others like him, karmana eva, by performing karma yoga alone, karma yoga only, samsiddhim astitaha, attained perfection. That perfection is self-realization. That state that we were talking about, right? Being satisfied with themselves. So by performing karma yoga alone, they attained perfection. Okay. So Lord Krishna is saying, kartumarhasi in the fourth line, kartumarhasi. So it becomes you to work. I mean, you have you have to do the work, in other words of saying. Sampasyan lokasangraham evapi. Sampasyan, keeping in mind, lokasangraham evapi. Lokasangraham is the welfare of the world. So for the sake of the world, okay, keeping in mind the in short world, right? Lokasangraham is the entire world. So that means keeping in mind the entire world means the entire world is like keeping in mind the how the world is going to progress, how the world is going to follow, right? Like whether the world goes in right direction or wrong direction. Keeping the world in our mind. So Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna, keeping the world in mind, you have to do your work, he's saying. Okay. So he said, okay, the self-realization state, Okay, great. Now there are people like Janaka who have achieved that state by practicing karma yoga alone. Okay, so you have to practice karma yoga just like Janaka, King Janaka, keeping in mind the entire world. Why keeping in mind the entire world? Lord Krishna is answering in the next sloka. Okay, we'll look at that also. Let's chant sloka 21. Yadyadacharati sreshthah
Yadacharati shresthaha
tattadevetaro janah
tatta devetaro janaha
तत् देवेतरो जनः
sayat pramanam
प्रमाणं
kurute
कुरुते
Pramanam
pramanam kurute
लोकस्तदनुवर्तते
lokastadanuvartate
लोकस्तदनुवर्तते
Let's chant together.
यज्ञदाचरति
Yadyadacharati
यद्यच्चारति
sreshthah
श्रेष्ठः
tattadevetaro janah sayat pramanam
तयप्रमाणं
kurute
कुरुते
lokastadanuvartate.
लोकस्तदनुवर्तते.
Okay. Yat acharati sreshtaha. I mean, in the previous sloka, Lord Krishna ended saying that keeping in mind this entire world, you have to do this. You have to do your work. Why? Because yat acharati sreshtaha. Whatever work, whatever way that a sreshtaha, a distinguished person, acharati practices. Okay, yet acharati sreshtaha. Whichever, or you can say whatever work, or expanding it, whatever work in whatever way a person does, a distinguished sreshtaha, not some common person, someone who is distinguished, like Arjuna. Okay, so whatever that kind of a person does, whatever way they do, tatta devetara janaha, tat eva itaraha janaha acharati. That's understood. So that tat means that. Okay, whichever work, that work, eva alone, itaraha janaha acharati. So common people, other common people perform. So whatever a distinguished person does, the same work the common people will perform. Saha is that great person. Yat pramanam kurute, does work in whatever way. Okay. So the distinguished person, whatever they do, pramanam kurute means in whatever way they do. Okay. Lokaha tat anuvartate. Lokaha is common people again. It's like, common people in the entire world. They follow exactly that. Common people will follow exactly that. So whatever work that the distinguished people do, common people will practice that. And in whatever way they do, exactly same way common people will practice. Okay, so Arjuna is such a distinguished person. Okay, so if he follows in a particular way, other people follow. So if he leaves the karma, right? If he doesn't perform his duty and does something which is going to harm him, all the common people will follow him. And when such a thing happens, then everybody's he's impacting so many people, not just himself. See, one way to look at it is, okay, I don't care about myself, but not just himself. Arjuna is going to impact everybody else in the world, all the common people in the world who are looking up to him as a role model. So if whoever is a role model does something, everybody will follow. So everyone will leave their obligated duties and then do some activity which is going to harm them. So you should not do that. Keeping the world in mind. That is the previous sloka last line. Keeping the world in mind, do your work, he said, Lord Krishna said. Okay. Shall we look at the last sloka for the day, 22? Okay, we'll try to cover.
Professor Garu, can we, like what Ravi Garu just asked, right? Can we say this sloka is like an answer? That is why there's a purpose to somebody when God make them live more than, like, even though he get that Jivan Mukti, realization.
Yeah, yes. So any distinguished person, whatever they do, other people will follow. So if a person who is self-realized, they also perform the activities. So that's again will come now. So even a self-realized person will do the activities in order to lead other people in the direction, even though they have nothing to gain from it. So if you look at in both ways, the same, the result is same. You have to do the work, right? You cannot simply leave the work and go because other people are looking after you, to follow you, looking to follow you, right? I'm sharing sloka 22. Okay. Name padhasi kartavyam
Name parthasti kartavyam
trishu lokeshu kinchana
trishu lokeshu kinchana
nanavaptamavaptavyam
nanavaptamavaptavyam
varta eva cha karmani.
varta eva cha karmani
Name
name
padhasti
parthasti
kartavyam
kartavyam trishu
trishu
lokeshu
lokeshu
kinchana
kinchana
nanavaptamavaptavyam
nanavaptamavaptavyam
varta
varta
eva cha
eva cha
karmani.
karmani. So in the previous sloka, Lord Krishna gave the example of Janaka and people like Janaka, who are, self-realized people. They achieved that state through practice of Karma Yoga. Okay. Now, Lord Krishna is, in this particular sloka, Lord Krishna is saying, Hey Partha, O Arjuna, me trishu lokeshu kinchana kartavyam na asti. Name kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana na asti. That means, for me, there is nothing in these three worlds that are to be done. To me, for me, Trishu Lokeshu, in all the three worlds, Kinchana Kartavyam Nasti. There's nothing that I need to do, that ought to be done by me, right? So, and then he's saying, Na anavaptam avaptam, na anavaptam avaptavyam cha asti. There is nothing that is not obtained that ought to be obtained by me. See, one is, there is nothing in these three words that ought to be done by me. There's nothing that is obligated duty for me. Like I have to do this. That's why I took I took birth. There's no such thing in these three words. Okay. So all of us are born with certain duties. We are assigned certain duties to do. So we are born with some things that we have to do. There is nothing like that for Paramatma. So now he's talking about himself, me, for me, or to me. Okay, there's nothing that is there that I need to do, or I have to do. I ought to do. Okay, then there is nothing that is not obtained by me that I should obtain by doing the work. Okay, this entire universe is Paramatma's, right? There's nothing that he does not have, and he has to take birth to get this, or he has to do the work to get such thing, right? Like let us say I don't have a house, then I have to do something, if I need to have that, or if I want to have that, then I have to do the work, get the money to buy the house. So in order to obtain it, I need to do the work. But there is no such thing. That house belongs to me, this entire, this earth belongs to me, this entire universe belongs to me. There's what is there for me to gain, by coming here, right? So there's nothing for him to gain by coming, by taking the birth in the form of Lord Krishna, as Krishna. Okay? Tathapi, even then, aham karmani eva varte. Aham, I, karmani varte eva. I continue to engage in work. Okay? Janaka, people like Janaka are ordinary, they are Manushas, right? They are not Paramatma, they are Jivatmas. They took birth as, the Janaka or such people who practiced Karma Yoga, became self-realized, they became Jnanis. Now, so, but what about me? There is nothing in these three worlds that is assigned to me, that I have to do. Okay? There is nothing that I need to gain that I don't have already. Even then, I continue to engage in the work. Okay? So again, in the next sloka, we will not cover the next sloka, but in the next sloka, he said, if I don't do the work, other people will follow me, take me as an example, and they will not be successful. So keeping the world in mind, keeping the common people in mind, even though I don't have to do any work, even though I have nothing to gain from doing the work, I still do the Karma Yoga. So you must do it. That's what Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna. Okay. Any questions before we conclude?
We cannot
No?
apply this self-realization process to Krishna, right?
We cannot, I'm sorry.
Apply this self-realization whatever we are saying does not apply to Krishna.
Does not apply.
He's the Lord.
It's Paramatma, right?
Paramatma.
Yes. He does not have any karmic bondage. He does not. I mean,
Even though he was born as a
self-
Manusya,
Yeah.
right?
See, we have to be self-realized because we are having karmic bondage. We are like covered in the, that karmic bondage. So we have to be self-realized. We are not able to realize ourselves, right? Because of our karmic bondage and all that. So for him, there's no karmic bondage. He is aware that he is Paramatma. It's not like he forgot that he is Paramatma and he has to discover himself. Okay. Thank you. Well, we'll conclude with the concluding prayer.
Thank you.
Kayena vacha mansendriyerva buddhyatmana va buddhe svabhavat karoni yat sakalam parasmai narayanayeti samarpayami Sriman Narayanayeti samarpayami Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu Om Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha Jai Sriman Narayana.
Jai Sriman Narayana.
Jai Sriman Narayana. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.